There's one thing I just want to get a quick take from you on, and if it turns into a bigger conversation, great.
Sure.
But I know this is something that has been a staple of your repertoire for a long time. Ian O'Connor did an interesting interview with James Dolan, who's the longtime owner of the Knicks and the Rangers and the Madison Square Garden, in which they touched on a variety of topics, including the notion that Dolan might someday consider selling the Knicks. And I just wanted to get your takeaway from that interview, which really touched on a variety of different things.
Well, I would be hard-pressed to find one single Knicks fan that doesn't wish that for their Christmas wish list that he would sell this team, because obviously they have a deplorable record under his stewardship over the New York Knicks franchise. Since he arrived officially in the capacity that he's in 1999, they haven't done pretty much close to anything since Jeff Van Gundy departed from them. Since 2001, 2002, they only have 2 winning seasons. They only have 1 division title, if I remember correctly. It's just been an absolutely deplorable situation. We all know that. What I will say, however, is that with Steve Mills there, along with Scott Perry is a highly respected individual in NBA circles. He's now the GM. Steve Mills was the president of Madison Square Garden before. Now he's the president of basketball operations. I know both of them. I've known both of them for over a decade. And what you hear from both of them is that James Dolan has left basketball operations to us. And because of that, I think that there's reason to have faith, because obviously they do a great deal in terms of ingratiating themselves with executives around the league. And I'm sorry, not executives, but agents around the league, trying to really cultivate relationships so you'll have an opportunity to pursue free agents and things of that nature. So that's clearly a step in the right direction. They clearly have a long way to go. We don't know what they're going to be able to pull off, but in the end, anything, particularly in the aftermath of the Phil Jackson debacle as a president of basketball operations, they're moving in the right direction. If you believe what they say about James Dolan, and indeed he's leaving basketball operations to them, it's a good thing.
All right, we'll see where that gets. Let me get you back to Larry Bird and Kevin Durant, which we touched on earlier. I just want you to bounce off Stephen A., your thoughts on this. Last night, Kevin Durant passing Larry Bird on the all-time scoring list. Durant versus Bird. Jalen says?
I'm going Larry Bird. When you talk about the 10 best players of all time, I don't care who's doing the list, Larry Legend's name is going to be mentioned. He was 50 from the floor, 40 from 3, 90 from the line, long before it became a stat that we discussed. He was a terrific rebounder. He was a strong team defender. He was a leader. He was clutch. And if I had to choose between the two, Larry Legend is my choice.
Steve?
I can't disagree with Jalen there. I think he makes a valid point. When you look at Larry Bird, see, if you're comparing Larry Bird to a LeBron James is such a physical freak of nature that what he brings to the table from the small forward spot is undeniable. Plus, he was more reliable from a durability perspective because we see the physicality that he has and how it's to his advantage. Not to say that to some degree that wasn't the case with Kevin Durant, but if you look at Kevin Durant, whatever you can say Kevin Durant can bring to the table, Larry Bird did bring to the table. And when you talk about that shot, give the ball to Larry Bird with 2 minutes left in the game and move the hell out the way. He's going to close the deal. And not only that, he's going to tell you to close the deal. I've seen Kevin Durant do a lot of things, a lot of great things in his career. I have never seen Kevin Durant get Dr. J to punch him in the face. Okay, Larry Bird got Dr. J, the man that played the house calls. I'm talking about, you thought Michael Jordan could go into somebody's living room and become a global iconic figure. Well, it was instigated by Dr. J, preceding him. And why did Dr. J punch Larry Bird in the face? Because Larry Bird said, look, I'm going to hit this 3 right here. And then after that, I'm going to turn around and hit this jumper right here. And then I'm going to go to the baseline, and I'm going to hit it right here. And was literally talking and chirping so much that the doctor, who Brent Musburger used to brag about making house calls, okay, the doctor, Julius Erving, sat up there and cold-cocked Larry Bird. I never seen Kevin Durant pull that off.
And in the era of Dr. J, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird won consecutive MVP.
Right.
3 straight. That's an amazing feat.